We'll call our public hearing to order at this time. Our first order of business tonight is a public hearing for two ordinances. The first part is for ordinance number 2020-15. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2020-15, variance request, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof. Section 1, that the following property owned by David Kelly and Patricia Kelly, and known as map 0003B013915 Battlefield Parkway, Port Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, is hereby granted a variance request to reduce the side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet, rear yard setback from 25 feet to 17 feet 7 inches, and front yard setback from 50 feet to 25 feet. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of or in opposition of this variance request? Mayor, it doesn't appear anyone's present to speak in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2020-15.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 2 under our public hearing tonight is for ordinance number 2020-16.
Wait a minute, Mayor. Hold on.
I represent the owner of the property, but if there
Well,
is no...
sir, if you're gonna talk, you need to come up and sign in, please, sir. I'm sorry. If you would sign your name, sir, if you would sign your name right here. Just your name, and then announce your name when you get to the podium. Sorry, Mayor.
No problem.
Excuse me for that. My name is Larry Bilski with Architects Construction. I represent the owners of the property, and the buyers of the property are the current owners of the tobacco cigarette store and the little office building behind it. Our intentions are to demolish those buildings and build a brand new convenience store, upgrade it completely. It'll be as nice as a convenience store, gas station as you'll see. A new, modern, contemporary design, and that was the purposes for the request for the variances and for the zoning. That's really all I had to say. Unless you have any questions, it's going to be a very nice piece of property.
Thank you. We'll look forward to it.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2020-15? Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Next item under our public hearing is a public hearing for ordinance number 2020-16. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2020-16, variance request, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by authority thereof. Section 1, that the following property owned by D.R. Horton and known as map 0004A071 254 Shoreline Trace, map 0004A070 Shoreline Trace, map number 0004A088 219 Shoreline Trace, Lakeshore Cove Development, Port Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, is hereby granted a variance request to reduce the front yard setback from 20 feet to 15 feet. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this variance request? Yes, ma'am, if you'd come up. If I could get you to sign your name right here, please, ma'am, and then announce your name when you get to the podium. Thank you, ma'am.
Laura Crawford with D.R. Horton. Just want to say thank you for considering this variance request for us to reduce the setback only on these 3 lots from 20 feet to 15 feet. That's going to allow us to better fit a home that matches the remainder of the subdivision to make us match what's already there.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2020-16? Mayor, it appears no one else is present to speak in favor or opposition of this ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. That concludes our public hearing for tonight. We will now call our regularly scheduled council meeting to order. If you would, Mr. Stoltz, call the roll, please.
Yes, sir. Mayor? Mayor Earl Gray?
Here.
Jim Childs, Councilman?
Here.
Greg Crawford, Councilman?
Here.
Derek Rogers, Councilman?
Here.
Council Lady Paula Stennett?
Here.
Council Lady Mayor Pro Tem Rhonda James?
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Let the record show that we do have a quorum. Mr. Childs, if you would, please do the invocation for us. Ms. Stennett, lead us in the pledge, please.
Yes, sir.
Your Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight thanking you for your grace, your mercy, and the loving that you give to our community. Help us to keep you in the forefront, do your will. Help us to make the right decisions. We have a great community, and let's keep it safe. Be with us, guide us, be with our country also, and help us to be civil in what we do. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Amen.
Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is set the agenda. We do have a couple of things we need to adjust on it. Under dedication of Bark City, we're gonna move that to the section, it will be on, move to the agenda after mayor and council comments. One more addition on appearances. Ms. Hudgens had a accident today and is not gonna be able to attend. I don't think anyone else is here. Ms. Jones, are you here? So we will strike the appearances from the agenda. Any other additions or deletions that you know of, Ms. Hugh?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Entertain a motion to set the agenda.
Motion?
Second, sir.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? The agenda is set. Next item on the agenda is the minutes. If members of council have had the opportunity to review the minutes from our November the 9th and our November the 6th special called council meeting, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is reports. Ms. Hugh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have about 4 things tonight, but we're going to start first with me turning over some time to Chief Mike Helton to discuss a donation that the city received.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to make you all aware of a visit or a provision we had from a friend, a personal friend of Council Lady Stennett's, I understand, who's known to us as a fellow named S. Claus. He happened to make a request of us. We would let it be known of some desires that we had, of some needs in our department, and lo and behold, we have some items that were delivered a week ago that we want to show and show off to the council and the citizens of what those are. First, let me start with, in the past, you may have considered that all medical related calls, first aid type responses may be only attributed towards fire or ambulance personnel, but today's time, there have been so many officers die because of lack of treatment after an injury, and citizens as well. Police have been getting in trouble because of not rendering aid to persons that need it. Our department is meeting that need. It's matching the requirement, and even, we believe, in our community ahead of requirements. When you see some of the materials and gear and the training levels that our officers are going to now when it comes to medical response. And the reason for that is when the bad things are happening, most of the fire and EMS and ambulance people will tell you, we're staging, call us when it's safe to come in. And if it's that bad, our officers have to treat one another in those cases. And that's largely what these items are for. we've gone to great extremes to train our persons in medical-related items. We now have a paramedic on board. We have EMT staff training. We have one of our detective sergeants that's with us tonight that's EMT and National Registered Combat Medic in the United States Army. He's completed over 200 hours in tactical combat casualty care. We've had 2 officers complete federally qualified training for basic tactical combat care, and everybody in our office has been issued immediate first aid kits. And these aren't the first aid kits that count for bandage and different things like that anymore. I'm going to turn this over to Lieutenant Fan and Detective Sergeant Crosby and let them illustrate for you some of the items we've now been able to provide for our staff.
Mayor, council, one of the kits that the chief was speaking of is an IFAC kit, that stands for Individual First Aid Kit. Each officer was presented with one of these last year and received training. This kit contains a tourniquet, chest seal, supplies to open up an airway, gloves, combat gauze, etc. So this could be rendering aid for themselves, for a buddy officer, or for a civilian. To help continue with that, with the donation that we recently received, we wanted to get a bag to have more supplies. Not just to help our officers, but to have the citizens of the community in case we encounter an emergency. So Detective Crosby here explained the supplies inside of that.
This is the M9 tactical aid bag. It's a slimline design. This is the exact same one we use in the Army. In it, I've built it so, just as if I was going into combat. At the bottom, I have emergency blankets, space blankets to prevent hypothermia to help render aid. There's a foldable stretcher to get somebody out of the fight off the X. Here's the resistance tourniquets to stop the bleed quickly, effectively. Sterile gauze to help treat burns. Combat gauze to pack wounds. Tape, ace bandages, you know how those are used. Emergency bandages, like the old Israeli bandages to stop bleeds. A CPR mask, an abdominal bandage. You can't pack abdominal wounds like you can with combat gauze because it's not going to go anywhere. So you have to have an absorbent pad on top. Pipe and chest seals for thoracic injuries or sucking chest wounds. NPAs, nose tubes to secure that airway. An SpO2 monitor so that you can monitor how much oxygen is going to that person's system, as well as shears to get clothes and uniforms on. The IFAC can only go so far. It will treat one person, depending on their sustained injuries. This, I can treat up to 5 people, regardless of what injuries they've sustained. And get them out the X, out of the fight, behind the cover, so that we can treat them effectively, get them out of the fight, so that we can save a life. This not only goes for our officers, but also the citizens for Oglethorpe, as well as offenders and victims in anything. I'm trained for mass casualties. Mass casualty is defined as more than one casualty. What's the most common thing that we have here in the city? A vehicle accident. 2 people. That's more than one person. So if both drivers are injured, that's a mass casualty. I would take this into combat. Absolutely.
Excellent.
You can see we're grateful for the donation. Each one of these bags is valued a little over $300. So that's a significant donation, and then we're taking our budgeted money that you provide for us and working on equipping these bags so we can better serve the people of this community. We're grateful for all the support you give us, and we want to show some of these tools off and let you know some of the levels of training that your officers are now prepared for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent, yes.
I do have just sort of an update for the community. Due to the holidays and to COVID-19 prevention measures, we have been operating at lower than normal staff levels. So the work is still all getting done. Our employees are working very hard, but there may be some unintended delays from time to time. If they are, please bear with us. We're getting to you. We are working as hard as we can. If you have any questions or concerns, you're always welcome to give us a call. Third thing I've got tonight is today we held our Employee of the Year ceremony. That's been a tradition for the last few years. It looked a little different this year, but everybody played along, and we had all the staff vote, and Sergeant Brad Palmer out of the police department was voted Port Oglethorpe's 2020 Employee of the Year. Something unique about his nomination was that he actually received a letter of support from the Catoosa County Sheriff's Department as well, so that just shows you what an asset he is to our city. So we're very proud of him. And finally, I would just like to say thank you. This is my first holiday season in Port Oglethorpe. I'm very grateful to this community for I'm very grateful to this community for welcoming my family and me. I'd like to thank the mayor and council for your support of this staff and for trusting me to help carry out the work of this organization. And then finally, to the staff who's over here, I just want to say, can't see you, but I really appreciate how you all work with me and you let me learn from you. You work as one big team, and I have sincerely loved coming to work with you all every single day. I've never had more fun, and I think that's because I get to come and work with all of you. So thank you all, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. Item number 1 under ordinances is a third and final reading of ordinance number 2020-15. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2020-15, variance request, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof, section 1, that the following property owned by David Kelly and Patricia Kelly and known as map 0003B013, 915 Battlefield Parkway, Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, 30742, is hereby granted a variance request to reduce the side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet, rear yard setback from 25 feet to 17 feet 7 inches, and the front yard setback from 50 feet to 25 feet. Said property is particularly described in Exhibit A attached to this ordinance. If any, section 2, if any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or any impair other parts of this ordinance, unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, that this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and council. Third reading tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2 under ordinances is the third and final reading of ordinance number 2020-16. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2020-16, variance request, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof, section 1, that the following property owned by D.R. Horton and known as map 0004A071254 Shoreline Trace, map 0004A070228 Shoreline Trace, map 0004A0088 Shoreline Trace, Lakeshore Cove Development, Port Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, is hereby granted a variance request to reduce the front yard setback from 20 feet to 15 feet. Said property is particularly described in Exhibit A attached here to section 2. If any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance, unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional, that this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and council. Third reading is tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3 under ordinances is the first reading of ordinance number 2020-17. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2017, State of Georgia, City of Port Oglethorpe, an ordinance to amend the City of Port Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Chapter 70, Solid Waste, Article 3, Collection and Disposal, Section 7074, Preparation and disposal of acceptable waste. Whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, the official code of Georgia annotated 3635-3, and the charter for the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, to adopt reasonable ordinances protecting and improve the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia. And whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia is vested in a city council composed of a mayor and 5 council members. And whereas the aesthetics of the streets and byways of the City of Port Oglethorpe and health of its citizens are degraded by the placement of trash and refuse at the curbside for long periods of time prior to scheduled pickup. And if any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance, unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. This ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor. It is hereby ordained by authority of the City of Port Oglethorpe that the City of Port Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Chapter 70, Solid Waste, Article 3, Collection and Disposal, Section 7074, Preparation and the Storage of Acceptable Waste is hereby amended to add the following paragraphs. F. No household garbage, solid waste, brush, or yard trimmings as defined by this article that is generated within a single family or multifamily residence or a business occupier, owner, or operator of a commercial establishment shall be placed at the curbside for pickup earlier than 48 hours prior to the scheduled date of pickup. Section G, no person shall transfer household garbage, solid waste, brush, or yard trimmings as defined by this article to any place within the city for the purposes of disposal at a location other than that person's own residence or commercial establishment. H, the penalty for such violation of this ordinance shall be prescribed by the municipal court of the City of Port Oglethorpe as a fine not to exceed $1,000 and/or imprisonment not to exceed 60 days. First reading, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 4 under ordinances is the first reading of ordinance number 2020-18. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2020-18, State of Georgia, City of Port Oglethorpe, an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Port Oglethorpe, Chapter 94, Utilities, Article 2, Water and Sewer Service, Section 9436, Water and Sewer Rate. Whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, the official code of Georgia annotated 3635-3, and the charter for the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia, to adopt the reasonable ordinances to protect and improve the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia. And whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Port Oglethorpe, Georgia is vested in the City Council composed of a mayor and 5 council members, and whereas the governing authority for the City of Port Oglethorpe is desirous that the operation of its water and sewer department is to be financially efficient, and whereas the governing authority finds that it is unclear as to how utilities fees apply to multi-business units in the same commercial structure, and whereas that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed, and whereas if any part of this ordinance shall be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity and unconstitutionality shall not affect and impair other parts of this ordinance, unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Now therefore, it is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the City of Port Oglethorpe that the Code of Ordinances for the City of Port Oglethorpe, Chapter 94, Utilities, Article 2, Water and Sewer Service, Section 9436, Water and Sewer Rates, is hereby amended by adding the following paragraph. All utility fees apply to each and every unit of any multi-business in the same commercial structure. First reading, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 5 under ordinances is the first reading of ordinance number 2020-19. Are you ready, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Stokes?
Ordinance number 2020-19, sharing the Christmas love with everyone. State of Georgia, City of Fort Oglethorpe, an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Fort Oglethorpe, Chapter 94, Utilities, Article 2, Water and Sewer Service, Section 9446, Utility Service disconnections. Whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, the Official Code of Georgia, and dated 3635-3 in the Charter to the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, to adopt reasonable ordinances to protect and improve the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, is vested in the City Council composed of a mayor and 5 council members, and whereas the governing authority for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, is desirous that the operation of its water and sewer department be efficient, whereas the governing authority finds that it is advantageous to establish the minimum amount for which water and sewer service shall be disconnected to a customer by the city, and whereas that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed, and whereas that any part of this ordinance shall be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance, unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Now therefore it is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, the Code of Ordinances for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Chapter 94, Utilities, Article 2, Water and Sewer Service, Section 9446, Utility Service disconnects, is amended by adding the following paragraph. 7. The city shall disconnect water and sewer service to any customer whose unpaid overdue balance for the water service exceeds the sum of $30. Subject to other provisions of this article, the council may from time to time by ordinance amend this minimum disconnect balance. First reading is tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. Item number 1 under resolutions is for resolution number 2020-11, setting of water and sewer rates.
Resolution 2011, resolution of the mayor and city council for the City of Fort Oglethorpe for setting of rates for water and sewer. Whereas ordinance number 2005-13 passed and adopted on the 10th day of October 2005, provided that the governing authority for the City of Fort Oglethorpe may in the future modify the city's water and sewer rates by a resolution, and whereas it is necessary from time to time for the governing authority to adjust and amend the city's water sewer rates due to budgetary constraints and the changing needs of the city and the consumers, and whereas it is in the best interest of the consumers in the City of Fort Oglethorpe that the water and sewer rates be amended beginning January 1st, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe that City of Fort Oglethorpe's water and sewer rates for city residents and non-residents in residential and commercial settings shall be amended effective January 1st, 2001 as demonstrated in Exhibit A attached to hereto this 14th day of December 2020. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda under resolution is resolution number 2020-12, amending and updating the position classification and wage plan. Mr. Stokes. Or Ms. Hune, whichever one of you has.
Does Ms. Merchant want to talk before I read the resolution?
Do you want to give some explanation for this resolution here, Cindy, please?
Mayor, Council, the resolution plan, it was amended to delete the project administrator position from the plan to add 4 part-time positions, 2 for Gilbertson Stevenson Park, 1 for the gym and ball fields, and 1 for a part-time position in planning and zoning for a maintenance person. And then also to be amended for the police officers to increase $1 on the minimum rate, and two positions, the police officers and captains, that had to have the maximum rate extended to one to 2383 and the other one to 30 on the max. So that was the position control plan amendments.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Mr.
Resolution
Stokes.
number 2012, resolution of the mayor and city council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe to amend and update the city of Fort Oglethorpe's position classification and wage plan. Whereas the charter for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Article 3, Administrative Affairs, Section 3.14, position classification and pay plans requires the city manager to be responsible for the preparation of an employee position classification and pay plan to be submitted for approval to the city council. And whereas the city manager have from time to time previously prepared and submitted to the city council position classification and pay plans that were approved by the city council. And whereas it is necessary from time to time to adjust and amend the position classification and pay plan due to budgetary constraints, market influences, and the changing needs of the city. And whereas it is necessary to amend the existing position classification and pay plan to delete an unfilled project administrative position, correct for entries necessary to reflect one person position, add permanent part-time positions previously approved by the city's budget, clarify position names, and adjust minimum and maximum salaries as budgeted where necessary. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe that the city of Fort Oglethorpe's position classification and pay plan is hereby amended as demonstrated in Exhibit A attached to this 14th day of December 2020. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. James?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Child?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 under new business, proposed approval of workers' comp insurance. Ms. Marshall.
Mayor, council, this request is to approve our workers' comp policy. This policy is what covers our employees if they have an injury or an incident on the job. It is with our property and casualty broker. They went and surveyed 3 other companies, and with deliverance of the policy, the resources to our employees, and the competitive renewal rate, the broker came back and recommended that we, for the 2021 plan year, that our workers' comp coverage be awarded to Key Risk Management. And the premium annual rate would be $159,660, and that comes from the General Water and Sewer Fund.
Thank you, Ms. Merchant. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion. Second, sir.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2 under new business, proposed approval to purchase vehicle for Department of Building, Planning and Zoning. Mr. Quarles.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The Department of Building, Planning and Zoning needs to replace a 2006 Ford F-150 truck used by the building inspectors. Sealed bids were received on November 30th, 2020. One responsive bidder, Prater Ford, in the amount of $30,000, $30,782.30. The vehicle will be delivered 3 to 5 weeks after receipt of order.
Thank you, Mr. Quarles. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3, proposed approval of statewide mutual aid and assistance agreement. Mr. Hill.
Mayor, Council, good evening again. This specific agreement, I think EMA Director Steve Quinn is here also on this item. He may have some details to share, but the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, along with Homeland Security, is requesting local governments that we now enter into these agreements ourselves, not just statewide. They want each individual municipality and county to enter into an agreement with them. This one specifically will cover from 2021 through 2024. It essentially covers things we've already been able to work together on, but it enables us to have a statewide agreement to be able to call for large-scale resources if we were to need them. We saw an incident of this involving our tornado this past year when GDOT is able to come rolling and you just initiate some of those resources through the EMA office. This same type agreement, it does formalize the procedures by which someone would be expecting payment one way or the other. Finances are discussed, but it is recommended by our office that we enter into this agreement. We would also be able to be a resource to other agencies by entering into this, should they put out a call for mutual aid assistance from a neighboring city or county. Mostly it's going to be from those that are a little bit farther distance. This does not take the place of anything we may enter into locally with our own sheriff's office or a neighboring county necessarily, unless it were to go through EMA.
Thank you, Mr. Helton. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Gwynn, just like to say thank you for, it's good to see the relationship between leaders of the county and the city that the two of y'all have established, and further than that, and we certainly appreciate all the assistance that you gave us during the tornado, and it's just nice to see the county government and the city government working together for the better of the people in Catoosa County, not just in a city or just in a county, but that entire county. So thank both of y'all for what you do. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 4, proposed approval of MOU update with LexisNexis Copologic Solutions. Did I get it all right?
You did.
Mr. Held?
This is a update to an existing agreement. Essentially, the citizens they have options besides just coming to our office and asking for a copy of a report. They can go online and obtain that now through buycrash.com, and they pay through those means. This new MOU updates some language for some municipalities in Georgia that requested it. This is a statewide contract in conjunction with the Georgia Chiefs Association that they have. It did not affect language pertaining to us. The rates by which citizens pay for a copy of a report is still the same. There's no necessary charge to us. We don't pay anything for this service. We're just contracting as a separate municipality and partnering with them. They send us a check monthly for persons who have acquired reports through this system. So we would recommend the updating of this MOU with them.
Thank you, Mr. Helton. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, sir.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 5, proposed approval of vehicle emergency lighting and equipment. Mr. Helton?
Yes, this and the next go together. This first one is a request to approve vehicle emergency lighting that would go on the vehicle that's after this recommendation. We did receive quotes from several different companies. We actually asked for those quotes. 3 out of 4 submitted in the time frame that we asked. Dana Safety Supply, Hills Emergency Light Sales, and West Chatham Warning Devices. The lowest responsible bidder was West Chatham Warning Devices. We request council to allow us to use $6,361.82 to purchase the lighting and necessary equipment on a vehicle that we can replace another one in our fleet.
Thank you, Mr. Helton. I have a motion to approve.
Motion, sir.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, item number 7, proposed approval of police vehicle purchase. You got the lights. You may not get the vehicle.
I thought about that, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Helton.
We could at least put Christmas coming to the first one period of time, perhaps. We would recommend that we also purchase a vehicle from Prater Ford. Our vehicle's a bit more expensive than the building and planning. Ours is police package. It has different items on it. The price in this case is $32,707.30. We also went out for bid. We only had one bidder. One of ours is a little unique. We asked that these persons have police vehicles on their lots because we don't want to get in a situation of waiting for a car to be delivered 3 to 6 months down the road. As you know, we've done that. So one of our criteria when we go out for bid is somebody's got to have this on the lot or deliverable within 25 days. And Prater is advising us they're able to meet that, and nobody else responded. So that amount is $32,707.30, and the funding would be within our existing budget.
Thank you, Mr. Helton. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 7, proposed approval of notice of award for Edgewood Circle water line replacement. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Mace Construction was the low responsive bidder for this project out of 7, and we have used them in prior history. They've done a good job. And if awarded, this project will take 120 days to completion. They'll be installing hydrants, valves, 6,600 linear feet of main.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second? Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 8, proposed approval of intersection signalization installation at Lafayette Road and Gilbert Drive. Ms. Hume.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are significant traffic flow issues at the intersection of Lafayette Road and Gilbert Drive. Cars coming from businesses in this area are unable to safely turn, and cars going northbound on Lafayette Road cannot turn into these businesses either. Installing a signal there will increase the traffic flow in this area and make it a lot safer. The city's recommending that this work be awarded to Tally Construction as a sole source because Tally Construction is already in the area working on the Lafayette Road Streetscapes project. Engaging this contractor will keep from causing delay or disruption to the project that's currently underway. If approved, this project will cost $160,865.62.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 9, proposed approval to approve streets to be resurfaced with LMIG funding in 2021. Mr. Johnson, Ms. Stokes.
Let me just say it's an honor and privilege to represent the Public Works Department on behalf of Jeff Long. If you would, just continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he recovers from his health issues. We are requesting the approval of the following streets to be resurfaced with 2021 local maintenance and improvement funding. The following streets will be Gaddis Drive, beginning at Elaine Circle and ending at South Glade Road. Dolores Drive, beginning at Elaine Circle, ending at Reed's Bridge Road. And Elaine Circle, the west portion, beginning at Stovall Street and ending at Dolores Drive. If approved, a letter will be sent to GDOT on the city's behalf, signed by the mayor, and these resurfacing projects will be bid out in the spring of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
I have a second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 10, proposed approval to purchase Bobcat mini excavator. Mr. Stokes.
Yes, the Public Works Department and the Public Utilities Department are requesting the approval for the purchase of an E42 Bobcat mini excavator to be utilized by both departments for the amount of $58,322.96. The equipment will be purchased through Sourcewell, which is a cooperative program available to local governments and organizations, and they bid on our behalf, and it comes in at a reduced cost. And should we approve this, it will be delivered within 5 weeks of the receipt of order.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Item number 11, proposed approval of the candidate qualifying fees for 2021 election. Ms. Hune.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The official code of Georgia requires that the mayor and city council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe set the qualifying fees for the upcoming elections. In 2021, the city will hold an election for 3 council members. In accordance with state law, the fees are 3% of the total gross salary of the office paid in 2020. Each city council member's 2020 salary was $8,500, making the qualifying fees for 2021 $255.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Final item under new business. Proposed approval for Catoosa County Chamber of Commerce 2021 renewal. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is simply just to renew the city of Fort Oglethorpe's membership with the Catoosa County Chamber of Commerce. The annual membership charge is $5,100.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
I have a second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, mayor and council comments. Well, we have made it through this terrible year. And I've been saying since April, I can't wait to see 2021 in my rearview mirror. And it's gonna be here in a few weeks. And with what we've been through with this COVID and the tornado, thanks to the great employees in this city and a lot of help from the county, in spite of all of it, this city's had a good year. We hadn't had to borrow any money to keep operating. And the way it looks, we're gonna come out with a little bit of money we can put in reserve. There's a lot of cities in this state and in this country that can't say that, folks. Matter of fact, there's gonna be some cities that goes bankrupt over this. But with the dedication of the hard-working employees that we've got, a new addition to Miss Hughes, she was expressing how glad she was to be here. We're pretty dang glad she's here. And, we think we might just keep her. But, you know, kind of coming back from what she said about the employees, a big thank you. I mean, it's been some tough, trying times this year, folks. And we've managed to get through it. And we managed to get through it without having to borrow money, without having to cut services. And that's really something to be proud of. I mean, these guys have got something to be proud of. I'm thankful for every one of them. And I guess, with that being said, this is our last council meeting for the year. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and I can just about guarantee you that 2021 is gonna be better than 2020. It's gotta be. Council comments, Ms. Chop.
I'd like to echo what the mayor said. I'm so fortunate to live in a community. We've got great employees, and it was a tough year. You know, a lot of people are struggling. I'm thankful that I live in North Georgia, in Tennessee. Well, we didn't have to shut down everything, and that's just my thanks to the leaders of both states. And we're very fortunate, and thank God, that we have the employees and the citizens that we have in this area. Everybody's been patient. And like Earl said, I hope 2021 is gonna be a hell of a lot better than this was. Because it has been tough. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Child. Mr. Robert?
Yeah, I'd just like to say again, like them two have said before, that we live in a great community. But with that, I know there's a lot of people that are having it bad this year, and probably worse, that, you know, they live by themselves, or they're not able to see their family because they're out of town and not able to travel. If you have friends, family, or neighbors like that, just give them a card or shoot them a text or a Facebook page. Just let them know. It probably goes a long way. But again, Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, we're so thankful to be here in this community and thankful to serve this community. I wanted to say congratulations to Sergeant Palmer, give him a shout out. It's a great honor, be the Employee of the Year. And then I also wanted to just kind of reiterate how thankful we are to have Mrs. Hune here, and she's done an incredible job. And she's had a bit of a trial by fire this year, but she's been incredible. So thank you so much, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. James?
Well, I'll say the same thing, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I appreciate the employees and the citizens. But I wanna say it's an honor to serve with these four folks up here and with our mayor and our city attorney and with Ms. Hugh. It's an honor, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ms. James. Ms. Denny?
Hear ye, by order of the Royal Santa Mayor Gray. These are the naughty and nice listings. Please answer when your name is called. Jim Childs.
Here.
Fundraising for nonprofits. Nice. However, throwing a golf club at Santa Claus. Naughty, naughty, naughty.
I didn't hear it.
Derek Rogers.
Here.
Little girl tea parties. Nice. However, eating all the dough before the elves can bake the cookies. Naughty, naughty. Craig Crawford.
Here.
Working with Little League ball players, nice. However, throwing your plumbing wrenches at the elves, naughty, naughty.
Sorry.
Rhonda James. Oh. Something's changed about organizing the Bark City Committee, nice. However, pulling on the reindeer antlers, naughty, naughty. Molly Hune.
Here.
Oh, over there. Moving to Fort Oglethorpe, nice touch, girl. However, melting Frosty with long, grueling meetings, really naughty.
They said
Really.
have fun at the meetings.
Chief Helton.
Here.
Oh,
Come on.
come on, sir. Wait, need to see you. Chief Helton, protecting citizens from harm, nice job, sir. However, wrecking the sleigh on Battlefield Parkway, naughty, naughty. Somebody's gonna write you a ticket for that one. Carol Murray! Is there a Carol Murray in the house? Oh, wait! She's not really tall. Keeping all the elves organized. Nice job, Miss Carol. However, knocking down gingerbread houses, naughty, naughty. Cindy Marchant. Let's see, is there? Oh, right there. Hiring wonderful employees for the city. Nice job. However, taking away the elves' break room, naughty, naughty, naughty. Brian Perry. Oh, there. So that's the little guy in the back. Right there. Making all of the elves look good on film. Nice touch, sir. However, not photoshopping Santa's swimsuit photo. Naughty, naughty. Rick Quarles.
Here.
Oh, Mr. Quarles, that was a request that you did something that looked like this. Can we see that? Keeping all the contractors in code. Nice job. However, knocking over the Christmas tree with your flexing. Naughty, naughty. Courtney Johnson. Is there a Courtney Johnson in the room? Courtney Johnson. Oh, there you go, sir. Keeping citizens safe drinking water. Nice touch, sir. However, you just talk too much to the elves in the toy manufacturing line. You put us behind. Naughty, naughty. You can tell he talks a whole lot. Wes Stokes. Stokes?
What's up?
Oh! Yep. Being an all-around team player, just helping out anywhere we can always count on. Nice job, sir. However, not supervising the destructive city manager. Naughty, naughty.
Slip me that 20.
Let's see. Robbie Stoltz. Oh. Well, sir, you are an attorney. Surely you knew that you didn't have a chance to make the nice list, right? Enough said. However, it seems that there's only one in this room who did make it on Santa's nice list. Wait, let me see. Who is it? Oh, in order to find out who it is, we're going to send in Santa's Super Sniffer. Here he comes now, the Super Sniffer. On behalf of Santa Mayor Gray and the whole Park City Committee, we would like to dedicate Park City to you for all your hard work and dedication. Here's your sign.
Young David.
Sir, take it from here.
Well, the only way I know to wind that thing up is call for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.